Welcome back to Coffee with Kirren. So glad to have Christianna, Qamber and Stasia back. We had such a great chat last time about Dubai real estate that we decided to dive deeper. Today we're talking about the magic ingredient for a smooth and successful real estate experience. A strong agent-client relationship. It's the key to finding the right property, getting the best deal and avoiding stress. Welcome back. In your experience, what are the top 3 qualities an agent should have to be a successful agent?
For me, it should be the agent should know the area. The agent should know the listing, the seller. He should know why the seller is selling, if he is seriously selling or not. And then obviously about his understanding of the buyer. So these are the 3 things which really matters for an agent to be successful and stand out in that particular community, or if he's basically dealing in that area particularly, or if it's off plan, then that project he should know.
Yeah, should be an expert in what you're trying to sell.
Exactly.
I think for me, like to be like a successful agent, you need to first have like self-motivation. You need to be able to push yourself through and get through every day, even though it's tough.
Yeah.
I think the second thing will be knowledge. Like I'm off plan. I know you're secondary, so you're answering from a secondary point of view. But I think for me as off plan, like you need to know, again, your areas, but you also need to know your projects as well, because how can you compare and find the best deal for your client? And the third thing is the client qualification. Like if you do not qualify your client properly, like I've said before, it would just sabotage your whole deal, and they could end up with another agent because they have qualified them properly and given them exactly what they've asked for.
I completely agree with whatever you said, and Qamber, of course. For me, first, you should, if you're in secondary, which is my case, you should pick an area and focus and become an expert. You should know everything about this area. Also, secondary, you should know, as he said, for example, before you call, you should know the view, the size of the property, the market price, so knowledge. It's actually the same things, and of course, being honest is very important quality to succeed. Because apparently Dubai is very small, it is small, clearly. So sooner or later, you want to brand yourself, you want to put a name out there. So whenever they want something, for example, in this X area, they will say, okay, Kirren is the one to talk to. This is in secondary, obviously, which I'm expert in.
Generally speaking, the recommendations are very important, and about how you create your recommendation, you build your reputation, first of all, as a good agent, and before a good agent, a good person. For me, this is the first thing. I'm a person, I'm a human, and I have empathy to my people, to my clients, who I work with who I communicate. So I see a person first as my friend, if you want to call it this way, not as a client who will bring me money. And what I look for from any communication with my clients is a partnership. And this is what I feel very important, to build partnership, to build trust, to build find this connection with someone, emotional connection. Because once you find these things in common, emotional connection, again, I'm repeating myself, you will succeed, and you can work as partners for achieving the main goal. Because it's not about one goal, one side goal. It's not only me who wants my commission. It's not only my client who wants a property. We have a common goal. And if we work as friends and we speak the same language, we can make it done.
Yeah,
I see it this way.
So I think a few of us touched on the fact that you need to. It's important to have market knowledge, right? So for you guys in secondary, so if you're both working in the same area, how do you compete with each other? So say you're working Dubai Creek Harbour and you're working Dubai Creek Harbour. How are you going to stand out from Qamber, and how would Qamber stand out from you, Christianna? What can you do?
Honestly speaking...
Because it's a competitive market.
Being transparent, honestly. And the knowledge. being active, following up with the client. For example, you make the client to give you the listing because that's our goal, let's say, to get more listings.
Yeah.
After you get the listing, you should keep giving the reviews, like how many views did you get from that listing? How many inquiries did you get? You should give like an update every week to the seller. Yeah. So build a relationship with honesty, because from what I've seen from my experience, it's like a double deal, let's say. If I'm honest with them about the market price, about what's happening, because honestly, even in secondary, a lot of agents are lying. What they do is, just to get the listing, they go and they say to the seller, for example, oh, for this 1 bedroom, the market price now it's 2 million, when the actual price is 1.75 maximum. So they lie just to get the listing. But then after, if the owner wants to really sell, you're not helping him this way.
Yeah.
And he will find out in some time, maybe in 1, 2, 3 months. So once he finds out, he's gonna know that you lied just to get the listing. That's why I avoid lying. Build strong relationship with them, because I've done it in the past, obviously. Once you sell their property successfully, they will buy again from you.
But how do you overcome that? So if someone has told them that they can get a lower price than what's real market value, and you go in and say, actually, no, your property would only sell for a lot less than that. Like how do you overcome that? Like if it was me as a seller and someone saying to me, I can get 2 million for my property, and you come and saying, no, actually, you can only get 1.5, I'm going to think, well, you're not capable of getting 2 million, but Qamber is.
Exactly.
So how do you overcome that?
They get angry, honestly, most of the times, but I like to be transparent. First, you're going to send them the latest transactions for similar units.
Yeah. So you back it with facts.
Exactly, with numbers.
Yeah.
Secondly, you can explain to them. Because what happens is, and it happened with another client of mine, is that before handover and after handover, the price can drastically change a lot. The important question to the seller is, how fast are you looking to sell? Because if someone wants to sell fast, then you have to give him the realistic price. If someone, though, doesn't matter, he's willing to hold it for 6 more months, 1 more year, then you can tell him, yeah, it can reach up to 2 million. But right now, that's the current price. You need to be honest, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, what makes you stand out in a competitive market, I mean, I agree totally with Christianna, what she said. But what I would want to add is also providing value to the owners, providing value in a way that telling them why you are the right fit for the community. That can only be in a way when you understand your area, you are in contact with everyone, they know you, that you work in that area, you have listings in that area, you provide them value in terms of weekly transactions, rental incomes, where's the market going towards, or what's the market trend looking like. So everyone likes to get value. So if you provide them value, build a good relationship with them. You have listings in your portfolio. That way you're gonna cross-sell a lot of properties. You might receive a buyer on a listing which is perhaps in a different building, but their kind of requirement suits something else. So if you're a specialist and you cover the whole area, you understand everything, you're gonna be in touch with the owner, and have good strong relationship with them, and then you can perhaps achieve a higher price as well. So that's what I think is going to make you stand out.
Yeah. And then I think also in off-plan, I think it's really important to have that market knowledge, because there's so many choices, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you in off-plan, you have to know every single project, even the developers that you maybe don't like personally, but you have to know about them. You have to know what new projects they have, what projects they used to have, because nowadays also the clients, they know lots.
Yeah.
And they can ask you, oh, what do you think about this project? Or what were the transactions? Or I don't know, whatever questions. So we have to be ready for any challenge.
Yeah. And then in off-plan, especially in our, they would have made so many inquiries online. So they would have probably spoken to 5 agents before they've spoken to you.
Yeah.
So then when they get to you, how are you going to stand out? How are you going to stand out from the last 5 agents they've spoken to?
I never think about how I will stand out. So I think it's about just, again, being honest and being as you are, and giving what are you considering the best deal for this person.
Yeah.
So I don't know what makes you actually stand out. I think people usually, they tend to feel if someone being honest or being helpful or being just, I don't know, being indifferent, but just looking for his own benefits.
Yeah.
So I don't know what is the secret, what is actually what does make you stand out. Anyone should just be as he is, not nature.
I think I get what you're saying. I think it's about being authentic.
Yes.
And it's being a normal human being and treating, like I've always done this. I've always said, I will speak to people the way I'd expect someone to speak to my mum and sell my mum a property. I'd expect you to tell her the truth. Tell if she really wants something, tell her why it's good or bad. Suggest something else to her. Look, I'm telling you, if you don't want to go for that, but I'm just telling you this is a better option and this is why. But also for me, when I first speak to someone on the phone and I just in my head, they've already spoken to 5 other people. I'm not the very first person they've spoken to. Yeah. So then I will be very much like, I know those other agents will be like, oh, do you want to buy this? Do you want to buy this? Do you want to buy this? And just force a project down their throats. I'm different. I'm like, hey, how are you? How was your day? What are you up to tomorrow? I become their friend first. And because I feel like you're missing the human side of it. If you're just trying to sell. Someone rang me and just wants to sell. I'll be like, put the phone down. Like someone that takes the time to actually talk to me and have a conversation, I'm more gonna be likely to remember them and then be like, oh, I'll get back to you and be more sincere, basically. So yeah, for sure, I think.
Yeah, one more thing which I would say, what makes you stand out and off-plan, perhaps in this market, is because you've got so many agents. I mean, knowledge, because developers are now pushing on trainings. You get RMs coming to your companies, giving you information on the projects, on the launches. What extra mile an agent can do, perhaps, is go to those developers, build a good relationship with them.
Yeah.
So if you have good relationship with the developer, you're going to get support from them as well. So once you have qualified your client, you have decided on a particular project, what the good relationship is going to help you with is finding the right unit for your client.
Yeah, for sure.
So once you have that, that's what's going to actually help you close the deal. Because at the end of the day, yes, qualifying the client, getting the right project, understanding everything, but then it all comes down to the right unit.
Yeah.
Because if the client doesn't find the right unit, you have to start everything from
all
zero.
over again. Yeah.
So
for sure.
That's what matters also, having a good relationship with the developer. So because let's be honest, in this market, developers are kind of doing favorism to some agents because they have relationship with them, they have performed with them.
But so, in all fairness, I would. If I was working in a developer's office and one of you guys came to me with a client, then I'm gonna obviously favor you.
Give you better inventory,
even though I am very ethical, but still I'm gonna be like, I remember it's your network, isn't it? It's the people that you like work
so
with.
that's what my 1 cent would be in this.
And for me, one more thing to add in secondary, the extra mile, let's say, that a client themselves, they told me that you are different because you keep your word. For example, she couldn't find her code at all. She looked in the email everywhere. So 3 more agents, apparently, they told her, yeah, we're going to help you, but no one actually did. But for me, next morning, I called the developer and I requested with all her information to be sent immediately in the email the code. And she was like, not the first time I'm doing this extra mile or going and paying. For example, Qamber does this also, paying on their behalf some installment to make their life easier, let's say. Yeah. This is the extra mile that's going to differentiate you from the rest.
So I think a part of that is actually having good communication skills as well. And I think that's going to, if you communicate effectively with your client, with the broker, developers, everyone in the circle, like anyone that you need to communicate with, that's going to help you build a better client relationship, right? Because so often, I think people, I tell you one thing I've noticed a lot of agents do is just communicate through WhatsApp and don't like picking up the phone or don't writing a formal official email. Again, with me, if someone was just texting me and I wasn't able to have a human conversation with them or I wasn't given something, official in an email, I'd be like, no, I don't trust you. I don't believe you. I don't know who you are. So like for you guys, like what kind of communication skills like benefit you when it's to build the client relationships? Because for me and my clients, it's more emails and phone calls and WhatsApp messages. But how do you guys manage that? Because I know with all of us, we get hundreds of WhatsApp messages a day.
Yeah,
true.
So how do you guys manage to
The best way I would say, except the phone call and the messages, is the meetings face to face.
Yeah.
Even for a coffee. I've had so many meetings literally with people that maybe I never sold their property or they never bought from me. But again, building that relationship, maybe at some point they will end up buying. Meeting face to face and building that relationship. Also I understand that you need to be formal and professional. I agree with that. But at the same time, I do like to ask more personal questions like, how is your family? How are your children? I mean, maybe get more personal to build the relationship, because at the end of the day, I've had clients that ended up being my friends also. I think it's, let's say, an advantage.
Yeah, me too. I went to my client's son's wedding. That's how close I got to them.
No, that's true. I mean, I would say, physical meetings. Perhaps if the client is not available, Zoom meeting where you can see face to face each other, have a real human talking in real time. That really adds value, helps build trust as well, and makes the other person see that you are speaking real time, not like being fake or something.
Yeah.
So that really helps a lot. I mean, text messages obviously is handy. You're not available all the time. You're perhaps in a meeting or something. But I would say real-time conversations, either physical meetings or Zoom meetings, really help. And just being organized in general, like you should know how to help your client in a way, like if he needs you to send an email or whatever way of communication he prefers, you should stick to that.
Sure.
Yeah, I agree that the meetings is the best way to communicate with your client. Sometimes not possible. Sometimes people they're not really convinced why they have to meet you, and you have to give them many reasons first and to show your value, or to make them really interested in working with you so they can come for a meeting. Not all the clients also are ready to have a call immediately, so it will also take maybe a week to arrange a call, the time difference as well. So many factors. Some of them, they just say, oh, send me all on WhatsApp. They are the one. No, let's have call later. Once you send me, I will analyze, I will study. But what actually happens? These people never have time to read your messages, or they postpone all the time, or someone else reaches out to them earlier and he goes with another person.
Yeah,
So,
they get the time to speak to them.
yes, you get the time. So sometimes what I've noticed that you just have to call right away, not asking for the right time. Just you call and you start, because there is never time for
It's just
for
not,
the majority of clients.
It's just not priority. If it's an investment property, it's just a secondhand thing. Their normal life, their everyday, going to work, dealing with the kids, whatever it might be. And then the investment property comes later when they've got time for it. But even like with me as a client for when I was setting up my business, so I spoke to one company and then they were just like, oh, what it is that you're trying to do? Okay, I'll send you a quote. I was like, okay, is that it? And then I think I was saying to you guys, like, I've got this quote. What do you think? And you guys are like, we don't know. We've never set up a business. And then I ended up speaking to another company who was recommended, a referral from a friend. And I called the lady. I called this lady, and then and she was just like, "Oh, lovely to speak to you." Oh, yeah, how do you? Okay, great. She was just so bubbly and lovely. And then she was like, "Look, come into my office. Let's sit down and talk." And then I was like, "Oh," she goes, "Oh, no, because then we can do this. We can do the projections. We can do this. Have a proper look at everything and go for it." And although I know I've used that method so many times with clients, like, "No, let's meet and we can go for everything in detail," I'm often like, I'm just like, what are you scared of? But with her, like, because I knew I need to go do this to get this information I need. I obviously went with not thinking at that point I was going to be like, actually like continuing with it. But actually the service I got was so much better. So that face-to-face communication to me is a lot more important than someone just sending me a quote. And that's like what a lot of brokers do, just bombard you with brochures. But where's the value in that? Like, you can get it from anywhere. But again, on the whole communication side of things, what difference, how do you deal with different cultures? How do you deal with, I know what you're going to say, so you and I probably do the same. Actually, I think we all probably do the same thing.
Yeah.
So when we come to different cultures, I know straight away, we're all going to be trying to speak in our own home languages, right? Our mother tongues. If it's someone who, I mean, you speak more languages than, how many languages did you speak? You speak 3, right?
3, yeah.
How many languages?
Me too.
3?
3, yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course you do. I'm just 2. You're just 2?
2. Yeah.
No?
Yeah, 2.
What'd you speak?
Urdu and English.
Hindi?
Hindi, yeah. I
You
mean,
speak
Urdu,
3?
Hindi, yeah.
Yeah. You
3.
speak 3, yeah.
All right.
I was going to say,
Speak 3.
I lost clients to Qamber, okay, because he speaks Hindi and I don't. No, I'm joking. Okay, so coming to the cultural side. So one thing I honestly cannot stand, and I don't think I ever will in my whole career, no matter what job I'm in, is when a man won't deal with me because I'm a girl.
Oh, yeah.
Or they'll treat me differently because I'm a girl.
Yes, does exist.
So many times it has happened.
Tell us more, Stasia.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like really there are men that, I don't know, by default, they have not that high level of trust when there is a woman who speaks about clever things. And it's like, and especially if you look like, you know, in their imagination, like beautiful, young, I don't know, long hair.
Yeah.
I'm talking about myself.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me.
So this is how I feel like people, they sometimes they have some stereotypes about you or about any type of person, or just you're a woman, okay, then you don't have enough skills or knowledge or whatever expertise that I can trust you.
Yeah.
So it's not always an equal relation.
It's not an equal playing field at all.
I think it's more because we're in a country where there are people from every background and every culture, every religion. Some of these people, they have like a different mentality. For them, woman is not meant to be in a corporate world or doing work or stuff. They don't feel like woman is qualified enough to be at this place or to trust in business and stuff. So there's some reasons that's the reason, like that's their kind of thinking that, you know, for us, it's not a smart move to work with a woman because in their mentality or in their culture, they trust men more than women. So, I mean, their cultural thing and religion things also comes in between. However, it's not something which I support.
No, of course not. Like, obviously, no, we know you don't support it. You're sat at a table full of women. Exactly. I know you don't support it. But no, like, but I know, like, for girls as well, like, I know, Christianna, you experienced this where people would pretend to be a client and just to go on a date with you, basically, that you're having a coffee. And I remember you were just like, why do they think I'm like stupid, or why do they think I'm not a professional? And like, what was that like? Like, how have you got around that and overcome that?
Yeah, it's so annoying. I mean, it will keep, no matter what I do, it's going to keep happening because it's in their head.
Yeah.
They see a girl that average looking, whatever, beautiful in their eyes, and they think she doesn't have a brain, she doesn't have knowledge, opinion, anything. But it's not, I mean, it's part of the game for the time wasters to be there, let's say. But now I know how to manage and deal with them better, obviously.
How?
Because it happened many times.
How did you deal with them? What
Literally, with a phone call, you can see if they divert the thing outside of the business and you cut it off. So if they are interested and asking you questions, business related, then they are more serious. Otherwise, they just ask you out on a dinner for a coffee to discuss personal things, your personal life.
Okay, but going back to the culture side, the thing I think I now know what I was supposed to say was about
locals, the nationalities, like that with Arabs we talk different, you mean? What?
No, so with this, what it was about is like how important is it to understand the cultural like you got to be flexible culturally. Like, for example, understanding what Vashtu compliant means. I know you definitely know what Vashtu compliant means because you've had that villa. So, you know, you got to understand like a lot of Indian or let's say South Asian people, they would want a closed kitchen because when we cook our food, it, you know, it's going to cause smells and whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know very many South Asians that opt for an open kitchen. I have an open kitchen.
I mean, Chinese as well. They like closed kitchens because their food is more curry and similar to what Asian, or let's say Eastern Asian people, like subcontinental people, like
it just makes the house smell basically when you cook and all the spices and herbs.
It's just different perspective or different preference for different nationalities and different cultures. Some people like to have even a temple in the house.
Yeah.
So I mean, you get to deal with all sorts of nationalities here. So you need to be aware of what your client might want in the house, or how can you manage that thing if it's not in the house. How can you kind of convince him or show him a way to do that in the house? So that's something which you build over time with experience.
Yeah, but it's important to know, because if you're dealing with someone of a particular faith or culture, you need to be able to highlight that as a selling point. I mean, on the flip side of that, I remember one of the first viewings I did, the villa was facing a mosque, and we got there at night time, so they didn't actually see the mosque at first, and we were doing the viewing until we got to the top floor, and it faced out to the mosque, and they were like, oh, you can't have it. We're like, why? And they were like, look, we know we're in a Muslim country, but that call to prayer is so loud. And unfortunately, because we're not, we don't have any faith. We don't, we're not any particular faith, but we just don't want to hear it every day. Like, wake up to it right on our doorstep. We hear it from afar. That's different. We know we're going to accept it, but blasting at your front door. So that type of stuff. But whereas I know I've got Muslim clients that like, I want to be right next to the mosque. Yeah. I want to walk out my house straight into the mosque.
I mean, I've got a client who's basically, whose only requirement was to be next to the house.
Yeah.
I mean, next to the mosque. So he only wanted a house which is in a community next to the community mosque.
Yeah.
So you do get some of these clients, and these kind of house sometimes can go overpriced, because you might find someone who might pay extra money for it. So that's how the market is. I mean, that's the way you get the clients with different cultures.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. I agree.
What do we say? Don't be scared. So, okay. So again, this is about being a good agent. So how important is it as your role as an agent to be persistent, to be resilient, and to have a strong work ethic? How important are those three things, and why as a role as a real estate agent?
It's literally the core. I mean, it's very, very important, honestly.
100% agree. It's the core.
Yeah. Exactly.
Core. Kaur.
No, I mean, without these qualities, you wouldn't survive in this industry.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have this, you're never going to have a client base. You're never going to keep up with the listings you have, or with the properties which is coming in the market, or the projects, or the clients that you have in your database, or whatever messages has been pending, calls. It's just like everything. You have to be super organized. You have to be positive every day, no matter how your day is going, how your basically meetings are going. If you have not so good month so far, still have to have these qualities, because this is what's going to keep you going.
Where would these qualities come into effect in the actual job? Like, to be persistent is to constantly keep ringing that person that's never answering the phone, right? Mm-hmm. So where would your resilience and your work ethic come in?
Resilience. Okay, well, once you fail, just don't give up.
Exactly.
It's just, you keep on going. When a developer calls to your client directly, and you just want to leave this business forever and to ban everything related to real estate. But then
bring the real emotion, Stasia.
Yeah. No, but this is the reality. This is about the whole market in Dubai, and this people, they need to know. People who want to join, they just have to know how things are. It's not about only, as I said, getting high commission. And that it's not easy money.
That's true.
So you have to face these kind of situations when you will feel like, oh my God, it's such a dirty business.
Yeah.
So many people, they want just to I don't know, just
they glamorize
steal from you.
Whatever you're saying, they glamorize it, and especially a lot of girls also. They just upload. I see some videos. They don't say anything. They just show, oh, I'm so beautiful. Buy from me. That's it. You know what I mean? They don't have,
and they sell.
That's true.
But let's give them
Everybody
credit.
has its own way, and there will be people who don't know anything, but they have their other skills and other. I don't know.
But I'm gonna say,
to give to the client.
Yeah.
There are people that they will buy. I know.
Exactly.
But I'm gonna say that is being persistent, that's being resilient and having a strong work ethic. If you're constantly posting on social media, that's hard work.
Yeah,
so they've got that work ethic, no matter how I know it's the wrong way of what they're doing by just flattering the eyelashes and saying I'm pretty, buy from me, but it's still hard work, right? It's still hard to be pretty.
Yeah.
It's still hard to be on social media and do that. Mm-hmm. However, that's the stuff that really, really annoys me, because why are people buying for non-professionals like that and over people that are professional like us and take our job seriously? That's the frustrating part.
And do you know what's the worst thing? They also sell bad investments to the people. And then me in secondary, I come in the picture and they're like, please, can you resell it for me? Because it's very bad. I'm like, there's still availability after 3 years from the developer to go directly.
Yeah.
How am I going to sell your property when there's still availability from the developer? I mean, just because they look beautiful, he bought whatever, for example. She said, buy this. Nonsense, honestly. But let's go back to your question. For example, in my first deal, I won't forget it because it took me 1 whole month just to negotiate the price. Even though some people, they told me, no, give up, it's fine. Because the seller was from China.
Yeah.
I never met him. He wasn't speaking English. I was speaking through WeChat. I had to download that app just for him.
WeChat.
Yeah.
Good communication skills.
I was using Google Translate. ChatGPT wasn't there to save me at the time. So, 1 month just back and forth with the prices. And even during the transfer, they transferred the bank transfer to his Chinese bank, which was very complicated. The whole first deal I ever had was something that no one would believe in.
Yeah.
Because it's so weird. They didn't even speak English. So it was so hard. Probably that's why I ended up closing them, because I didn't give up on them that they don't speak English, for example. Most of the other agents said, oh, he's Chinese, he don't speak English. Okay, that's it. I'm not going to sell his property. I'm not going to bother.
Yeah.
When I can go to someone that speaks English. But no, yeah. So it's very important if you want to close.
I think a lot of that is building trust as well, right? So they trusted you. They didn't they couldn't communicate with you, but they trusted you somehow. Like, what? How did you do that? Was it because you're persistent? That's what built the trust there?
Exactly. For a month, just for the negotiation part,
Yeah.
The price.
What kind of things do you guys do to build trust with clients?
For me, it's about being honest and providing value. Because once you have that kind of thing, which is providing value to the client, it's not just about the market. It's about helping him with things related to his property. He might struggle with some service charges or getting some permits for the property, let's say for renovations and stuff, getting to know about all these things, which is extra services, other than selling his property, which I normally do, really helps him provide that extra kind of service, and being honest with him and giving him value. That's what really builds the trust and kind of understanding his goal. We all get in touch with a lot of buyers and sellers. For example, let's say for buyers, either he's in secondary market, he's looking for ready property or off plan. You need to understand what are his requirements. He might not be ready to buy straight away. He might need 3 months time. He's kind of exploring the market at the moment. So you need to understand and deal with the client accordingly and make him feel like you are basically in his shoes. You are basically understanding what he wants, and you think as per what if you would do it if you were in his boots. So if you take things according to that way, it really helps the client to trust you, because they know that you're not messing around with them.
Yeah.
You're not kind of doing all this thing to just make money on it and kind of, just sell him whatever. So these are the things which really helps you build trust.
I agree. But genuinely, I think for myself, at least to speak for myself, is that I care honestly about the client. I don't look at him just, as you mentioned before, like commission or money. It's the last thing, honestly, that we discuss with the client. Simple example, we went to the developer, is the handover of the property. He had some late payment fees. Any other agent would have let it go. But I was there fighting with the developer. I was like, no, I know you can waive these late payment fees. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He saw that I care about him paying this extra money. When another agent would have said, let him pay the late payment fees.
Not
it's
my
fine.
problem.
It's not my problem. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's very important to care also about the client.
Sure.
Yeah, care and follow up. So basically, when the deal is done and you keep on calling your client asking how the things are, does he need any help, whatever thing, just to follow up with him even after you get your commission, basically, and you really care. So this is, I think, something that also shows that you are a person who really cares.
It's doing the things that you don't have to do, basically, right? So it's doing that extra mile.
Yeah.
So shifting the conversation now to another part of being an agent. And for a long time, I was not very good at this, although I am good at it, but I wasn't being good at it, is the social media side of things. So are you guys all on social media?
I mean, kind of. We are on and off.
For real estate, are you?
Not really the focus at the moment, but social media really plays a huge role.
That was the thing. Like, I feel like we all know how important social media is, but we don't take it, we don't use that, we don't utilize that channel. For me, the problem was I didn't have time. I was too focused on building my network, building my career, dealing with my clients. Social media can wait. I've got all these leads sitting in front of me. But actually now, obviously, what brings me to this podcast and, other stuff that's in the pipeline, it's a lot of my clients said, and actually someone said to me when I first, in the first few months of being in Dubai, it was like, why are you not sat there with a camera? Why are you sat here talking to me? Get a camera. My clients are like, Kirren, how are we supposed to tell our friends and family about you? You're nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
I can't just say this is the phone number. They need to see you. So I was like, oh yeah. So I dropped a post here, dropped a post there, and I was not consistent in it.
Same thing, yeah.
Yeah. So, but like how it could really, I've seen people's careers. Okay, I'll give you an example. We've got a mutual friend who's on social media and his profile is like got thousands of followers and he's got like different arms of his business. It's not just real estate. So there is a powerful influence on social media that I think we're missing. Although my social media is at the time of this recording not there, but by the time it's released it will be smashed. But what do you think new agents should be doing? Like, what, as a new agent, what didn't you do that you think could have helped you through social media?
I mean, honestly, social media is all about building a personal brand. It's about showing to the people what knowledge you have, what you're capable of doing, what you have done, your experiences, providing knowledge. It's all about educating people.
Yeah.
And once they know that you have the right information, you have the right kind of experience, and you can help them in what they are looking for, this really helps you engage that initial conversation with the client. Because a person might interact on your social media reel or a video or a post just to know maybe the price of the property or to know the location of the project. He might not be interested at that time, but that person will follow you for next 1 year.
Yeah.
And by the time that year ends, he might be ready to purchase because he had that initial interaction with you. He will always remember you.
Yeah.
And that really helps in kind of building that pipeline over the time. So that's something which really social media helps you with. And it makes you stand out in the market as well if you're putting the right knowledge out there.
I was going to say, there's so many agents on social media. How do you stand out?
So you stand out in a way which basically defines you. What makes you the agent you are? I mean, you can be, in the market in real estate, there's so many things. You can be a leasing agent, you can be a secondary agent, you can be a commercial agent, off-plan agent,
Plots
or
only.
educational person. It just, what makes you stand out is giving the right information and keeping people posted with what's happening in the market and keeping it brief. I mean, honestly, I've seen people posting 10 minutes video. I mean, right now, no one has time to do that.
No.
No one has time to sit 10 minutes and watch a video
It's boring.
It's boring. So you got to keep it short, keep it informative, and basically touch the pain points of everyone who's facing that problem in the market.
Yeah.
That's what's going to make you stand out.
How come you're not on social media?
I'm not active on social media. I use only my personal page on Instagram.
Yeah.
But I do believe that it's really important, and especially LinkedIn. I think it has LinkedIn, has a big potential, and the audience is different there. I think it's about more professional environment. So I do believe that this can bring you good results, and my colleagues, they show this with their example. It's amazing how you can have good leads, good clients, build on your own brand. But yes, you have to be consistent. You have to be, you have to have your way of giving information. And again, coming back to the topic that people go to people, right? So you have to be seen as, of course, knowledge is very important, trends, any information about real estate, but in the end, people will not read your post.
Yeah.
They will see either a picture that they like, or they will see a video that caught their attention, you know? So it's about how they like you as a person and connect with them through what you said from being you.
Yeah.
I mean, so social media gives you this visibility that is missing when you just call.
100%.
Or you just send a WhatsApp.
Yeah.
So this is the best way to reach to the audience in any part of the world. And of course, everybody has to use who is in real estate.
Yeah.
It's very important.
First of all, advice for myself.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say now, because I started it as a professional account, but then switched to personal. I just kept posting my extracurricular activities there, like horse riding every Saturday, But branding yourself is very important. The example is my previous CEO. He was literally the clients, just because of the personal branding he made out of himself, the clients were coming to him without any effort, because obviously from the videos that he was posting, as you said, people connect with you and they feel that they know you. So it's very important. But I'm a bit, first things first, when we all started, everyone was posting.
They still are.
But literally everyone was posting and about the same things. Off-plan project, buy this is good, payment plan, discount. And I was like, what's the point of me doing that?
You're doing the same. But that's the point here. With social media, this is why I never touched my social media properly for 2 years. I didn't invest in it. I knew I had a USP, and it was like, how do I put that out there? I could post a video like all these thousands of other agents that are doing out there that are just running around and doing a skit, or just walking around a sales center telling you this is the best project, buy now, but not telling you why. So for me, although I have got a few little posts on social media, I wanted to make sure the right impression and the right message got out there before I even did it. And when I do it, I'm going to do it consistently, and it's not going to be just jargon and bits and pieces and copying what the last person did and doing the same stuff over and over again. I wanted to really find who I am as an agent, which I've now understood after 2 years, why I'm different to other agents, and then how I'm going to get that out there. And honestly, like the time aspect, we're too busy. Like we actually don't have time. People that are out there filming all this content and constantly posting, I'm like, you cannot be closing deals. I don't care what anyone says, because I was actually watching a TikTok. I was watching TikTok, and literally on that TikTok video, this guy, I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was a guy or a girl. It was some sort of podcast or interview, because there was two of them. I can't remember which one said it, the interviewer or the interviewee. But they literally said 20% of agents are closing deals, 80% are making TikTok videos. And I was like, ain't that true? Like, I really feel that's true. So,
not only, but to be honest, it's hard for me. I don't like that much the exposure, I would say. I like to keep myself more private. I'm camera shy. I just came for you here.
On the camera today.
Came for you here.
Okay.
Me studying performing arts. That's why I didn't follow this path, okay?
Let's switch gears now. Let's talk about what makes a good client. What are the 3 qualities that make a good client? So I'll start off. So for me, a good client is someone that has lots of money. No, I'm joking. No, scratch that. No, okay. So for me, a good client is someone that's willing to listen, like listen to what I've got to say, but have an opinion. I need someone that's not going to be like, I don't know. Like, come back at me. Like, Kirren, I want this, I want that. Like, I want you to find me this. Not know exactly what they want, because it's difficult. That's why you're using an agent. So first, listen to the advice I give you. Secondly, have some sort of idea of what you want. But thirdly, be proactive. If I found you that perfect property, go buy it. What are you waiting for? Like, don't be like, oh yeah, I'll think about it for another year. No, why? Like, why have I run around, done this? Be honest from the get-go and say, look, I'm looking for something, but I'm probably not going to buy for a year. Then we've got time just to keep, learning and getting the knowledge. But if you're telling me I'm ready to buy something tomorrow and I've presented you, and I think I love all my clients, like I've got such a good relationship with all my clients. But the thing I hate about a lot of clients that I don't end up working with is they do not value your time, and they think that we are sat there night and day just sending out brochures, this and that. No, it takes me a good 2 hours to source the right product for you and understand why that product is good for you, whether it's a rental return. I'm doing maths calculations. You guys know I've got my spreadsheets. I've got spreadsheets coming out of nowhere. I'm doing my own market analysis, and I'm going to, write it all out. And I'm going to check which units are available before I even pitch it to you. That takes like a solid 2 hours to do it properly. And then I send it to you, and then you're like, oh yeah, I'll let you know. No, that's not okay. So that's for me what the best 3 qualities are. What about you guys? What in all your favorite clients, what were the top 3 qualities they had?
I mean, for me, what really matters for a client to be a good client, and let's say if you compare the top 3 qualities, is client being honest with you.
Yeah.
We talk a lot about agents being honest with the client, but we don't really basically bring up this point where the clients don't really tell you what they want. They just want to know what you have.
Yeah.
But we are agents. I mean, we work in the market. We can source you anything.
Yeah.
We can source you even the properties which you don't even think of. So it's not about that what we have. It's about what you want. And what exactly is your timeline and stuff like that. So being honest with every single thing in terms of their timeline, in terms of their intentions of the property, in terms of their kind of budget and things like that. And then basically honoring our time as well, like giving us respect, or let's say respecting our time, as you said, that we do go out and work hard for them. We go source properties and stuff, and being loyal.
Yeah.
That's the main thing for me.
Sorry,
because loyalty is very hard to find in the market with the clients, because
Just cut him off.
yeah.
I was going to say, do you remember that client? Because you mentioned it literally, that they're not honest. We had so many viewings for townhouses, and out of the blue, they went and they bought an apartment in completely another area.
Yeah.
I mean, they were not honest at all.
But
they
why?
wasted our time.
Why did they change? Why did they switch gears?
Honestly, this is the cultural thing. They were Chinese, and truth or not, I mean, we can all say that Chinese like to work with Chinese, Russian like to work with Russian agents. They prefer, at least, maybe because of the language barrier, to work with their own people.
No, I agree with that, because I have, when people see my name, I purposely send my electronic business card when I haven't spoken to someone, haven't got them on the phone. I'll give them my electronic business card so they see my name. And straight away you see my name, you know I'm Sikh. Like, without a doubt, I'm Punjabi. You know I am.
The family name says it all.
Yeah, and I got Kaur in my name as well.
Yeah.
And my name's Kirren Kaur Ojala, so you can't get more Sikh than that, okay? But so when they see that, straight away I know, and I know they are also Punjabi or Sikh. It's going to be like, oh, someone like me, and like they're going to be really excited. Oh, someone that I could work with. And then if I don't get through to them, I send them a voice note, and they're like, oh, she's British. Like, and then it's like, oh, okay, no. And then straight away, they just had this image that she's British and she's Sikh. So she's educated because she's from the UK, but she understands our culture because she's Sikh. So that does play into it. I can't remember what the question is.
Yeah.
What was the question?
What's the
Three qualities
about
three qualities.
the client?
So yeah, that's just a bit of culture. We just get to that culture episode.
Yeah, they said perfect, actually. So I don't know what to add, because I completely agree that the
Top 3
clients
qualities.
have to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Just be transparent. Just tell me what you want, and I'll give you what you want.
Yeah.
But don't tell me, I don't know, white and then it's black. like you said, I want a house, but he ends up buying an apartment. Why?
Yeah.
So you cannot just give, because they want you to give them something, but
Yeah.
they cannot explain you what they want.
Yeah.
They keep on saying, "Oh, send me what you have."
Yeah.
What you mean? They have thousands of options. How I can send you
Every single one.
if you didn't explain me properly?
Yeah.
What? So this is the first thing. Second thing is, yes, being serious about your partnership. It's not just me, as you said, sitting there and sending brochures all the day,
Like
all the
other
night,
agents do.
like hand in hand.
Yeah.
And I can send you brochure, but we have to understand, why do we do this? Why we have this communication? Are you working with me? Yes. Okay. Then let's be consistent. I send you brochure. You give me your feedback. I'll send you an offer. You also give me your impression, no?
Yeah.
Anything. But what I hate of the clients is just being disappeared after they got the information from you, or I don't know, just you arrange a call and you told me 4 p.m. and you call him or her at 4 p.m. and the person is not there.
It's about having that
So
respect.
it's not,
Yeah.
missing respect.
Yeah.
So this is the second thing, or third, I don't know. And
Just keep going.
Yeah,
It's mutual respect, though, isn't it? It's having that mutual respect that I respect your time. If you want me to call at a set time because that's what time you're free, I'm going to respect your wishes. I'm going to make sure I'm free to ring you. I'm going to respect you in giving you the information you've asked for. I'm going to respect you for listening. So at least give me the respect. And that is one of the things that's horrible in this industry. We're not respected as professionals by clients.
Absolutely.
Not all of them. Not all of them. Like I said, all my clients that I've sold to, I love to death. Like they've got so much respect for me, and that's why they're my clients. But so many I've lost because the minute you do show me that disrespect, I'm sorry, I'm not desperate for your business. If you can't show me that professional mutual respect, I don't have time for you. Like I would just lose the deal.
Exactly. I had a similar situation. I agree with you guys completely. Two more things to add. One would be the loyalty that he said. But for example, for me, obviously our time is very important. I will ask him from the start, are you going to work only with me? And I will reassure you I'm going to find whatever you're looking for. But you have to work only with me. If you start working with 10 different agents, they tell you 10 different things, it gets too complicated and saturated, and the prices and everything. And secondly is the kickback in this market we have in off-plan. The kickback is so bad.
Again, that's a disrespectful thing to me.
It is. They don't appreciate your work, your time. And worst thing, for example, they tell you, yes, I will go through you if you give me that. But then they tell you, oh, the other agent is going to offer me more. Like, that's very disrespectful, I mean. They don't care about your work at all.
Yeah.
I was going to just, on the back of that, one of my clients who actually is my client, still my client, brought multiple properties from me. You know, we're like family now. We get on really, really well. Me and him had a conversation in the early stages, and he was like, when you go to sell my property, I'm not paying you. I was like, pardon? He goes, I'm going to buy this property, the off-plan one, but then you're going to sell it for me. I'm not paying you. I was like, you're not going to pay me an agent fee? He went, no. I goes, well, then go find another agent. And he was so surprised. And I literally said like that. I goes, go find another agent then, because that's really disrespectful. And I'm actually quite insulted that you don't think the work I've done for you is worth me being paid for. Do you think it's okay for me to work for free? Bearing in mind how many because they were international. Bearing in mind what time it is right here in Dubai to where I am ringing for you now. I know this is my job and I know I chose to do it, but I chose to do it to get paid, not to work for free. And the funny things was like, no, I didn't mean that, Kirren. I was like, no, but why would you say you're not going to pay me? Like that is you've got to pay for services, right? Yeah. That's like me saying, oh, wash my car, but I ain't going to pay you. Or I don't know, jump on the bus, I ain't going to pay for whatever. It's whatever your service is. Like, this is a real estate market. It's massive in Dubai. Do you think you're going to come in and you're going to buy and not pay a price for it? Like, it's manage your... I always manage my clients' expectations, but I want my clients to manage their own expectations too.
Facts, actually. And I had also a bad experience with a client, which I thought is a very good client of mine. They gave me a unit of theirs exclusive I worked on it for around 5 months. I had so many different viewings. But obviously I give them the market updates that there are not many transactions, there is no demand. It was summer, it was slow. Anyhow, I knew they wanted to sell it as soon as possible. And then I told them, by the end of September, I'm going to have a check for you. Because this was exclusive, I was going to sell it. They promised me this, that's how it worked. And then behind my back again, they go, they sell it. And they were like, oh, I'm sorry, we sold it already. When I went with a check before the timeline that I promised I was going to deliver. So they literally wasted my time. This is very disrespectful. And they were like, oh, I'm sorry, send me some projects, I will buy from you. I just let them go. I said, I don't want to work with you because you literally broke my trust. I cannot trust you.
Yeah.
There is no relationship there. There's no respect. For me, it's above money. I'm sorry, but it is.
It is. But we're doing a job. That's like whatever job they do. If you didn't get paid for it, how would you feel after you spent hours, days,
months? I'm telling you, 6 months.
But it's not even like... people think we just sit at our desks and just send off brochures. I know for a fact you're just constantly running around Dubai from one end to another.
Yeah.
With me, in being an off-plan, I'm more when my client's here. But that's the other thing. So many of my clients that come here on holiday, then they're like, they let me know they're coming, which is great. Oh, I'm here. Shall we go look at some properties? Yeah, sure. But you got to understand, I'm taking a whole day out of my diary to take you everywhere, which again, I don't mind doing because we've built that relationship. But if you've got no intentions of buying or, again...
window shopping.
Yeah. Be honest and say that from up front, because then I'll be like, oh, do you know what? I'm not going to spend the whole day. I'm just going to spend half a day with you and just show you some examples and I'll keep them close together. For a client that wants to buy something, I'm taking them from that end to that end to that end to that end, and I'm there from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. picking them up and dropping them off. So I've got no problem with giving the best service ever, but also, like I said, you've got to... I don't want to start excluding people as well, thinking, oh, they're not serious, but then it's just about having that respect for each other, basically.
Yeah.
So... what would be your advice for someone that's new to real estate market, a buyer or a seller? What would be your advice to them when it comes to buying a property or selling a property? Like, how should they approach the market or work with you?
It depends. If it's a seller, they should know what their property is worth. And as an agent, it's our job to educate them if they're not well aware. They should be realistic with the prices because you are in a competitive market where if you have a villa within the same community, perhaps your neighbor is selling, someone across the street is selling, you need to consider in the prices they are selling at, what timelines you want to achieve that goal in. Let's say someone wants to cash out in 2 months' time, 3 months' time, you need to price your property accordingly. And it goes like with the seller as well. Like sometimes the seller just want to sell because they're tired of the property. I don't recommend doing that. I would rather rent out your property, create a cash flow out of it, and you use that cash flow to get a mortgage and live somewhere else. So at the same time, hold assets.
It's good to have an investment strategy as well,
exactly.
And also having someone that can
educate
give you
that,
options on investment strategies as well.
Yeah. So it depends case to case. However, for buyers, they should be aware of what their intentions are of buying. Either they want to live in themselves or they want it for capital appreciation, for rental income, or perhaps for Airbnb. It totally depends, and you just gotta give your input into it as well. Try, because most of the time people are confused. They're not really sure. For example, most of the time when first time buyers come into the market, they don't really know how real estate can make you money. So you need to educate them on the ways of investment strategies in real estate, the things which can make you money in rental income might make you less income money if you're doing long-term rentals or short-term rentals. So it's like various ways. You just gotta understand the buyer, and then the buyer should know what they want to achieve from the investment.
Yeah, for sure.
I was just gonna say that I agree completely with what Qamber said. No, I just want to say that they can do also their own research from their part. And obviously, if they are sellers or they want to buy in specific area, I would recommend to find an expert that focuses on that specific area.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
If it's a seller, he has to find a good agent who's successful in the area and who knows very well the market there, the prices, every single unit.
Yeah, I think agency is important too, because obviously the marketing side of things and the exposure the listing is going to get. on the property portals will be really important.
Yeah. So, and be also realistic in terms of the price, and just not to say, no, I want 3 million when the real worth of property is 2.5, let's say, So it's also have a good understanding of what's going on, in the market, and trust your agent to listen what the agent says, not just have your vision and not being flexible when it's really needed. For the buyers, very simple, have clear requirements, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
Just sharing with you really what they want, and you as a good agent, you have to qualify them and ask them these questions, because sometimes people, they don't know how to describe or give you clear requirements. So you have to know how to ask. What are the right questions? What are if it's investment, why did they invest before?
It's the probing questions, keep pushing for more,
more and more. You have to ask every single detail, like which floor they prefer. I don't know, do they want, Vastu, for example? There are many things that are not obvious at first, but you have to be very very detailed to attention. So details to attention is very important for me personally. When I deal with the clients, I have to know everything, every single thing. So the more information you give me, the better service.
The better solution you're going to get from it,
Yeah, absolutely. So it will not work if you just give me I want 1-bedroom apartment in Dubai. Done.
We've got lots of those. Exactly. Any price. We can start from this price or that price.
Send me what you have.
There is no budget limit. There is no budget limit.
When it's an open budget.
There's always a budget.
Just have a price in your head, a rough price range, because we could be covering the whole of Dubai and Saudi.
They don't understand. Like, you have a property from 900k, 500k to I cannot even say the number. Literally.
But what do you think, guys? Do you ask your clients directly what's your budget?
Yeah. I don't say budget though. So I feel like the word budget makes it sound, I mean, this is from all my years of sales. Saying budget makes someone feel like, what do you mean budget? Like I can't afford it. So I'm like, what price range are you looking in?
Price range.
So the terminology is really important when it comes to
how much would you go up to? Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't use the word budget, because that straight away people make it feel like, I can't afford it.
Or how much you would like to invest at the moment.
Yes.
Normally, go on.
No, that's it.
Alright. So what I was saying, normally what I do is I just ask them what they're looking for. Perhaps a 1-bedroom apartment, 2-bedroom apartment. And then I ask them which area would be suitable for you.
Yeah.
And then once I know the area, then I can give them a price range.
But are your clients more like local?
I mean, it depends. You get client nowadays from everywhere if you've got a listing or anything, or even if you're selling off plan. But mostly locals, yes.
Yeah.
But however, international clients, they don't really have knowledge of areas.
That's why they find it difficult when it comes to area. But that's why they then need to have an understanding of first what the process is. So that's why I'm saying, listen to me explain to you how it works first.
Yeah.
Then you say, okay, now I understand. This is the price range. I want something this size or this many bedrooms. I don't know the locations because I've never been to Dubai. So, but I would prefer something with maybe some water or city or quiet community golf course. Like have some sort of vision for you to go on.
Vision,
That's what's needed. True. Thank you all so much, Christianna, Qamber and Stasia, for sharing your valuable insights. This has been a truly informative episode. Listeners, you can find our guests' contact information in the show notes. Don't forget to subscribe to Coffee with Kirren for more insights into the Dubai real estate market.